We're going to give you instructions on how to replace your DF-RK200 cartridge. Some of the tools that you're going to need are a wrench, a Phillips screwdriver, maybe a flathead screwdriver, or a sharp knife to be able to take off the screw covers. First thing that we need to do is remove the screw covers. You can either try to get your fingernail in there to pop those off, or you might need to use either a sharp knife or a flat-headed screwdriver to be able to pop them off. Once you get the screw covers removed, now we'll need to remove the screws that hold down the handles. Once you're able to loosen the screws, pull up on the handles to remove those. Next thing we do, we got to remove the nuts that hold down the cartridge, the DF-RK200. Make note of the arrows in which direction that they're pointing. Your hot is pointing to the left, and also your cold is pointing the same direction as the hot. Use your wrench to loosen the nuts. Unscrew the nut. Do the same thing on the other side. Once we have the nuts down, then we can pull out the cartridge. Also beware that there's a rubber washer and a spring on the inside that we'll need to pull out. There's the rubber washer. You might even be able to get with your finger, or maybe the screwdriver, the sharp utensil to get in there to remove those. Next, we'll want to get the new ones. And so the first thing is we'll have to put the spring in. The larger size will go down into the hole that's in there. The rubber washer will go over the top of the spring. Next, we'll get the new cartridge replacement. Pink is for hot. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that the arrow is pointing out. And if it's not, then we won't be able to turn it on. So now that we have that down, use the nut. Hand tighten it down. Do the same thing with the other cartridge. Remember the arrow. Make sure that's pointing in the right direction. Push that in. We'll make sure that the grooves are in. Use the nut. We'll make sure we hand tighten it. Then we're going to use the wrench and give it about a quarter of a turn to make sure we're nice and snug so we don't have any leaks. Make sure that we tighten both sides. Now we're going to take the handles and put the handles back on. There's a groove, a flat side. Make sure that we have the flat side in the handle going in the same direction. That way they slide down. Take the screw, replace the screw. Tighten the screw. Do the same thing with the other handle. Make sure that we have the flat side and the flat side of the handle so it snaps in. Tighten the screw. Then last thing is the screw covers. Make sure we put the hot on the hot, the cold on the cold. That's how you replace your DF-RK200 cartridge.